Good morning, DJJ. Welcome to a series of Tech Talks, one of our first. Well, SharePoint was first. We're going to cover Outlook emails today, and then in August, we're going to be covering, well, I'll get to that later. I'd like to go through a couple of things before we begin. First of all, wait a minute, hang on. I'm working with 3 monitors. There we go. I'd like to introduce our tech support behind the scenes. They'll be taking your questions and assisting you, and I'll show you the panel in just a minute. But Dustin Kelly, the media tech specialist, support specialist, and Tom Scott, who has now been since the beginning of this making of this PowerPoint, has been replaced by Martha Smith. Sorry, Martha, I couldn't get a picture up fast enough. They will be behind the scenes answering any of your questions. If you have questions, please put them in the questions panel. Go ahead, Dustin. Give us the download.
I will give you guys the download. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Kim, for that. Yes, as you have been aware, we have made some changes to our tech support today. So you guys are in good hands with regards to tech support one way or another. But if you guys are joining in and have any type of audio issues, we would like for you to join in by the phone call option. Tends to be a little bit better when it comes to quality wise. It does not use your internet as much. It's actually using your phone and using your provider's internet connection a lot better. So it does not entice the network as much. So if you have issues with that, let me know. If not, we will be here to help as much as possible. Again, use the questions panel for any of your issues you might have or questions that you might have as well. They'll be answered, I guess, towards the end of the broadcast. Is that correct there, Kim?
I'm gonna, in between sections, we're covering several things. I'll reach out every couple of, because it's only an hour, so I'll reach out and ask if there's been any questions. And I'll either answer, we're gonna get to that, or we'll answer the complicated ones at the end if there are any.
Perfect. Cool. Sounds great. So, all right, you guys enjoy the broadcast. I'll be here in the background if you need anything. Just let us know. Thanks.
Okay, and your presenter today is Kim Evans, the Technology Training Program Coordinator. I didn't know what to put in the blue box, so I just put my years of experience. I have 30 plus years of video and multimedia experience. I had my own production company. I worked for VCU as a media specialist, NASA, and Reynolds Community College. Also at Reynolds Community College is where I got my technology training chops. So that was 16 years plus between Reynolds and DJJ. I've been here almost 2 years. So for those of you who don't know me or haven't been in any of our trainings, I just wanted to give you that little brief. And that is brief compared to a face-to-face. So you lucked out. All right, so we're going to move on here. What we're going to be covering today is automating email. There's a couple little tricks we want to show you that have been there all this time, and you may or may not be using some of them. We're going to go through quick steps. Quick steps is a way to save time and eliminate clicks. That's why it's called quick steps. It's quick. Task and to do. Task and to do has changed. Literally since March, things have changed. So I wasn't expecting that. So we'll go over those, how you can use task and organizing your to-do list, and increases your your workflow and become more efficient, excuse me, with your workflow. And also, I'd like to go over a couple of resources. If you notice in the handout section of your pop-out, there's your go-to panel, there's a handout section, and there is an Outlook desktop email job aid. And I have gone through and put links in that PDF so of the topics that we're talking about today for you to have later. The other thing I'd like to show you is that's not the one. Microsoft, if you are in Microsoft in Edge and you're using Edge and you're logged in, you can go to support.microsoft.com. And because we have a license, we have access to multitude of tutorials, videos, and job aids, etc. And you just would click on the application that you need assistance with. A lot of the links in that PDF that I've provided actually came from this environment. But if you ever want to go deeper, this is the place to go. Let me move that real quick. All right. So I wanted to talk about resources. And I think that's it. We're going to come back to this a little later. So let me stop presenting. And a couple of things I want to say. I'm going to open my Outlook here. And I encourage you guys to stay until the end if possible. If we don't get to all the questions, we'll get to them at the end. And sometimes you'll hear a question that's going to help you and benefit you. So just going to encourage you to do that. If you're using an extra monitor, it's recommended that you use the larger monitor where you can see me, because I'm going to be demonstrating or see what I'm demonstrating. You don't have to necessarily see me. If you don't, at times your screen may look different. So if you're just using one monitor or just on your laptop, sometimes I'll tell you to go here, and on a smaller monitor, that dynamic changes, that interface changes because it's condensed. So you see how all those are kind of, all of the ribbon is kind of condensing on a smaller monitor. So if you don't see something, I encourage you to scroll over things. That will give you, or hover, sorry, excuse me, that will tell you where you are and what's available to you. But I'm going to have it full blown, full screen. Okay. The other thing is if you're not seeing your ribbon all the time, and I needed to say this first of all, we're only looking in the working in the desktop application. If you are in the browser, this is not going to apply. Some of it will, but the majority of it won't. So I just wanted to say that. So this is the desktop version. You know, when you see the icon down at the bottom of your screen, if you're in Outlook desktop, the application. If you don't see the full ribbon, and sometimes we lose it, we don't know how to get it back, there's a little teeny arrow right over here where you can simplify the ribbon, and maybe your ribbon looks like this, and that's fine if that's the way you want to use it. You know where you're going, you know how to get there. But if not, you click this little down arrow and click Classic Ribbon. You can also choose whether to go full screen mode, which I'm not doing, always show the ribbon, or show the tabs only. Sometimes you just see the tabs. If you click on a tab, you can go back and always show the ribbon. I'm working in full ribbons today, so makes it sound kind of festive, doesn't it? Okay, so let's get started. First, I want to start with automating emails. I'm not sure if any of you realize, and I didn't realize this until I kind of dug into some things recently, that you can actually reply to an email with a meeting. So you would highlight, I'm going to use Anna. She has no idea that I'm using, she's not on the call, so this will be interesting. I am in the right side view mode. So if you are in another view, if you're in the bottom view, you look for the three dots, okay? If you're in the right view, you can look for the three dots. If you are in no view and you're off, you're going to have to open that email to do this function. So my reading pane, my reading pane is always at the right. That's just how I do it. And it's not right or wrong, it's just what I'm used to. So if you notice, there are three dots over here on the right-hand side of this email that I've highlighted. And if I click that, I can reply. I can do several things, just focusing on, I'm going to reply with a meeting request about this specific email. Of course, it popped up on my other screen, so you can't see it, but there it is. So now all I have to do is reply and ask for a meeting on the 19th. I shouldn't do this. I'm going to do Saturday. Hopefully she'll know I'm just like messing around. And then all I've got to do is send it. So you didn't have to go to your calendar. You didn't have to hit join, create a Teams meeting from here. You just can reply and request a meeting or set up a meeting from that email. All right, pretty simple, pretty basic. you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'm going to close this because I don't think I really want to send it. Let me get my email back. There we go. Okay. Auto replies. Not everybody uses auto replies. The ones of us that do get frustrated with those that don't. So we suggest you try to start using that when you're out of town or you're out of, the trainers have been really good about it. When they go on out of town for a few days, they will put an automatic reply on their emails, which helps us know and communicates to everyone what's going on and why you're not available, maybe to return emails pretty quickly. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up to the File tab, which if you've taken training with me, you know this is on all the applications, called the Backstage View. And then you'll see an Automatic Replies button. Okay, you click on that. This was the last time I was on vacation a couple weeks ago. It defaults to, I don't know if I can make this any bigger. I cannot, so I apologize if you can't see that very well. I'll put it over here in the whiteness. You want to click on Send Automatic Reply. And the best way to do it so you remember to turn it off is to click Only Send During This Date Range. All right, so I'll set one today. Till 5. It'll say I'm out of office. I'm going to change it actually. I can come in here and I can say I am unavailable. I am unavailable today. Please contact whoever. If you want somebody to be contacted, I will return tomorrow. I'm going to have to take that down after we're done. All right. Now, this is for my inside of my organization. Many of you deal with people emailing you from outside of the organization. So you're going to have to come over and either you can copy this and bring it to the outside my organization tab and paste, or you may want a different message for those outside of the organization. So you would just simply type a different email. I'm sorry, a different message, a different away message. And really all you have to do is say, okay, if you're going away for like a week, you want to make sure that your end time is like, let's say the 21st. You know, you're going to be away for several days. You want to make sure that your end time matches your time away. I'm just doing it for today because we're just playing around. Yep.
Hey, Kim, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but some people are saying that they can only see one screen, not the one that you're currently showing. I'm not quite sure why.
This one?
Yeah. Okay, never mind. Now they're saying it's just changed. Okay.
You know what? I think it's the delay. Yeah. It's the delay. Thank you. I'll remember to move things around so that it shows up for you guys. I am so sorry. Is that what that little 89% thing means at the top? See how it's changing, Dustin? Now it's at 100%. Okay, I see what's going on. Sorry, guys. I know, and everybody's probably on a different Wi-Fi thing. So do I need to do this again? Did everybody see that whole thing? Show of hands. Did you see it? What are we getting? Anyone?
I don't see any.
Oh, I turned hands off. My bad.
That's fine. Just put, if you guys can put it in the questions panel, just say yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Say yes or no. Let's say yes if you need to see it again. I can do it again real quick.
Yeah, a lot of people say yes, I saw, yes.
Okay.
It's only a couple that said no.
Okay.
Like 1 or 2, so we're good.
All right. Fabulous. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And then you see that my automatic reply is on. I can turn it off, and that's what I'll do after our session today. I will turn that off. Now, anybody that goes to try to email me right now, and you can see it up here, automatic replies are being sent for this account. So if anybody tried to email me and opened an email to me, they would see that message in that email. And then you'd know. You can still send the email, but you know where I am, or where I say I am. I'm just kidding. See, this joke thing doesn't work well on a webinar. Okay. So that is automatic replies to communicate to people when you're not available. All right, where are we? 10:16. I might have to skip that part. The next thing I want to show you is delay send. So delay send is used when you want to, I'll give you an example. For my training reminders, I will set it up on a Friday to be emailed out on Monday morning. And that way, nobody's getting emails over the weekend. It hits Monday morning for the Tuesday session, okay, or the Wednesday session, etc. So you want to go open a new message. It really is taking a long time to buff. Does everybody see this? It's annoying. Maybe this is better. This might be faster. Okay. So you open up a new email. Problems with this first go around, so we may have some technical snafus. And then you want to type in the names. So I'm going to send this to Dustin. I'm going to send it to Martha because I know they're both on board here, just for the heck of it. And you can call it, you know, training reminder. You give it a name, of course. Oh, good Lord, I can't type today. Okay. And then what you want to do is go over to your options tab right at the top. You would click options, okay? Delay delivery over here and more options. There's plenty of other options we're not getting into today. Delay delivery. So I know, I hope you guys can see this little box. I know that I want to make sure that this doesn't go out before, let's just say I want it to get there around 8 on Friday. So I want to choose do not deliver. I'm going to choose Friday, right? Friday the 21st. Do not deliver before, and I'm going to pick a really ungodly hour like 3 a.m. So it might come out at 3:30 a.m. It doesn't really matter. Nobody's going to look at it till later. Or if you want to be on the safe side, you can say 6:30 a.m., 8 a.m., etc. That's really all you've got to do. Once it's sent, you can see it in the sent folder, but I'm going to show you where it goes now. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and then I hit send. And what happens is that will show up, let me close some of these, in my outbox. Now, I don't know, I can't make this any bigger, and I do apologize. There is an outbox in your folder section. And right there, you can see that that training reminder is sitting there. Now, there's two things that are really important. If I don't have this Outlook open, it won't send. So I have to have it open. If I set it for 6:30 and I open it at 8, that's when it's going to send it. They can't receive it unless their Outlook is open. So it's not going to hit their inbox until they open it. So that's the only stipulation with using the desktop version, that it works that way. So you have to have Outlook open. Once it's sent, and I can go in here and edit it, decide, you know, I really think I'd rather send it now or today. So I can go in and change that option for my delay delivery, and I want to send it today. Do not send before, let's say 10:30 a.m. And then it should send while it's open. And I'll come back and show you that little number that will be gone. All right. So that's going to sit there for a while. All right. Any questions about that part? Everybody see that? Okay. All right.
I'm getting some yeses, so you're good.
Sweet. Moving right along. Thanks, Dustin. Okay, we're going to go over rules. This is a little more involved, but I personally like rules because, as you can see over here, I have folders. This is my team. I'm Julie's a 01, so she comes to the top because obviously her emails are going to be more important to me. Dustin, oh, I got 2 Julies. I shouldn't have 2 Julies. Stand by. Thank you. That takes care of that. All right, so this is our team. All right, so anytime I have a rule for Julie, and anytime that Julie sends anything period, I've got it set up so that when Julie sends out an email, it goes directly to this folder. So it won't be in my inbox. It'll go directly here. You can see here what'll happen, and I'll show you. Where am I? I'm getting ahead of myself as I usually do. All right, so let's go up and create a rule. I'm just highlighting inbox. You don't want to highlight an actual email to do this, but I'm going to go up and click rule. Now, if you don't see it, remember to hover over. If you're on a smaller screen, it might be condensed, but it's in the move group. Okay, so I'm going to click create rule. See, I knew that was going to happen. I don't like that one. Sorry, I'm going to do it differently. Manage rules and alerts. Because this is highlighted by default, it's defaulting to Anna Hall. Anna Hall sent me an email earlier, and it's defaulting there. So what I'd like to do is just manage rules and alerts. Well, the cool thing about this is you get to see this part. So Julie, this is Julie's rule. When I set it up, apply this rule after the message arrives from Julie Norris. Display, I have an alert window for Julie, so the alert will pop up. I don't do that with all of them. That's another thing. And I'm going to move it. It's going to move to the Julie folder and stop processing more rules after that for Julie. Okay. So now I want to, and you could delete the rule here. You could change the rule here. You could edit it and so forth. But I want to do a new rule. And I want to move messages from someone to a folder. You can see there are multiple options. Maybe you can't. It's very crowded here. You can move messages with specific words of a subject to a folder. You can move messages sent to a public group to a folder, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. But what I'd like to do is move messages from someone to a folder. I'm going to pick Dustin. We've already had this pre-planned because I already have a Dustin folder set up. All right, so you've got to kind of have your folder set up prior to creating a rule. All right, so I'm going to pick a person, and this is not my favorite thing in the world. So the best way I have found is to search by last name rather than first name. So I can go down and find Dustin. I highlight Dustin's name, and then I click from, and I click OK. All right. Now, and it gives me this. It's already telling me or prompting me, where do you want to move it to? I want to move it to this specified folder, and it's going to be, and you might have to dig through your stuff to find it. Dustin. OK. Next. Don't send it yet, Dustin. OK. And that's really all I'm going to do because I'm just demonstrating this, but there are tons of things and conditions that you can apply to your rules. And it's a little bit of work on the front end, but it's a lot easier to keep things organized on the front end. I'm sorry, in your inbox. All right, so I'm just going to say next. You can also sign in a category. We'll get to categories more when we talk about calendars, and I will discuss that a little bit at the end. You could give it a calendar. You could give it a category, depending. You can mark it as important, etc. So there are all these extra conditions or actions. So I should be done. Yep. Turn on this rule. Run this rule now. A message is already in the inbox. And if I check that, what that means is anything Dustin has already sent me will automatically go to that folder as well. So it'll take all my Dustin emails and put them in the Dustin folder. I don't really need to do that. I'm just showing you guys how to do one thing here, because you can really get lost in this. You've got to make sure not to hit OK, hit apply. Hit apply first before you say OK. If you just close it, it's not gonna take. Okay, Dustin, go ahead and send me an email, would you? So I'm going to show you what that looks like here. It'll look like an unread email. So Julie's, all of these, of course, I've read. So there's nothing left unread. So if I just pick my team here.
That's sent your way.
Sent my way should be coming. Now, I can always go up. There it is. Now you see my little one. There it is. Yay. Hello, world.
And hey, guess what?
What?
I also have your automatic reply as well. So.
Hey, it's a twofer. It's
right.
a twofer. Okay. All right. And see, as soon as I click on that, it'll be red, and then that number goes away. So it's an easy way to go, oh, you know, I've got 4 emails from Julie. I better get on the ball. Or no, Kashara sent me an email. Let me go check that out. And I don't have it for all of my team because I'll show you something else in a minute when we get to quick steps. Okay. Thank you, Dustin, for being my magician assistant. I appreciate it. All right. Any questions about that?
Only question I got so far is that there are differences between the web version and the desktop version of Outlook.
Yes, there are. Very
so
many.
just a FYI to people, there are 2 different versions of it. So they are slightly different from each other.
That's a question?
So, no, I think that was this, is there a difference?
Yes, there is. There are multiple differences. And when we do a full, like when we did the trainings this spring, regional trainings, when I traveled, I did my tour, I call it my tour of spring training. We talk about that. We go and compare the 2. So you have a comparison. So on the first day, we're diving into the web version of everything. And then later we cover Outlook, and then we cover Outlook on the desktop. There are 2 versions. I use them simultaneously. I mostly have my web version up for my calendar, because if I click calendar here, it's going to change this interface. And then I use this for email because it has, it's more robust and has more functions. Nice segue. Speaking of more functions, we're going to go to quick steps. I need to do this real quick. Okay. A quick step is different than a rule. It allows you to save time by applying a commonly used action to a selected message, such as move a message to a folder. Now, see, what I did was this was automatic. The rule is when Dustin sends me something, it automatically goes there. A quick step is something you create to trigger it yourself. All right. So I can show you what that looks like. We're going to go ahead and create one. Hold on just a sec. Text is not big enough over here for me to read. Now, there are a couple of ways you can create a quick step. I can turn this off now, actually. It's kind of bugging me. Turn it off. Thank you. Quick steps are found on the Home tab. If I minimize this, that's where it's going to be. Okay, don't want you to panic if you don't see it. You can also create a quick step by right-clicking on an email this way. This has existing quick steps already built in. All right, I took a couple of them out that I don't use, so you may see more on your version. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead with this one, and I'm going to reply. Actually, let me use Dustin's. I don't want to delete that email right now. So I can go into quick steps real quick, and as soon as I reply, this is reply and delete, I can say, thanks, send and you see that it's supposed to delete. Oh, it did delete. There, it's gone. So if it's something you know you want to reply to, maybe it's a quick thank you like I just did, and it deletes it itself, you don't have to worry about going back and deleting your emails, okay? Now, as far as, that's that one. I want to make sure now I currently have I'm going to create a quick step. I have a Kashara folder, all right? And Kashara handles a lot of the communications, most of the communications, all the communications, I think. The communications that go out to all of DJJ. So I'm going to create a rule. I'm going to go here. I'm not going to highlight anything because you can, like I said, you can do it from the email, but it's more, I get more menus and so forth, and it feels cleaner when I do this. So I'm going to create a new quick step. And it's going to be a move to folder. So these are the ones that you have to choose from. You can also custom a quick step. I haven't gotten that far yet, but I'm going to do a move to folder. What do I want to call the folder? I'm going to call it communications. Oops. And I'm going to choose the folder to Kashara. Finish and say OK. Now, I already saved a Kashara email just to show you guys how to do it. See down here. You'll also see a flag, which we will talk about when we get to task and to do. But I want to highlight this, and I just want to send it to communications. And now it's over here in Kashara. Anything that has to do with communications, I'm going to send it to Kashara. The Kashara, my Kashara folder, not to Kashara personally. I hope that made sense. It's pretty fast. That's all I've got to do. Another thing you can do, which I love, and I have to keep deleting it to show people how to use it. I'm going to go ahead and create something for my team. So I want to do a email to, new email to. I want to email my team, but I don't want to type everybody's name. So I'm going to create a new email to, and I'm going to call this team. And then I can start putting in those folks: Dustin, Kelly, Martha, Smith, Shara, Brown, Tom. Oh, it's Thomas. Hold on. Thomas, Scott, and last but not least, Julie Norris. So now my whole team is in this team, and I have all of my peeps. I click finish. I say OK. Now, if I want to email my team, I can go up to my quick step, click team, and I have a new email and just to do whatever. I think that's cool. I love it. So if you're on different groups, if you're in different work groups and so forth, that's a really nice thing to have. All right, any questions on that?
The only question I see is, can I create a template for frequently sent emails?
Yes, you can. And if I get their names right later, so I could send that information.
Correct. I believe there's a list of this later. Also,
so I haven't created one, but I can find the information for you. And I would like to play with that as well. So go ahead, Dustin.
Next question was, can you edit a team, or do you need to delete and recreate when you have new members?
Oh, that's such a good question. Thank you. Yes, you can go back here and edit. So when you click on, let me do that again. If you click on the little, if I click team, it's going to open an email. So if I click this little arrow in the quick steps group, I can edit either of these that I've done, right? So if I click edit, I can go in here and take, now this is kind of funky and I'm not real happy about it. It's a little difficult. So let's just say I have to find the person though, right? That's the hard part. No, open to, that's how you do it. Hang on. So if you just click on to, the names will be down here in the bottom. So let's just say I want to go in and take out Kashara, who's right in the middle. I can delete that, say okay, and save. Now when I click team, Kashar should be gone. That's a great question. Thank you. I need to add that. Edit, quick step. All right. Let's move on to task and to do. So this has changed. So much has changed. Even since I did Cedar Lodge, I was at Cedar Lodge in June. So it's July. Probably Lynchburg was probably the closest. This little blue check is called, well, you can't see it because of my super big purple pointer, to do. And to do is available in the online version, right? However, task is only on the desktop version, and this is your task window right here, all right? They're trying to fade out task and just call everything to do, and that'll probably happen. So a task is an item that you create that you want to track until it's completed. Using to do, we create, edit, and manage the task. It's a little confusing. It should just be one thing, but so to do is now integrated with Microsoft, and it's taking the place of task, and it includes something called Smart List. And Smart Lists are filtered lists that make it easier to track and organize your day. So let's call it, it's called My Day. If you click on that blue check right there, you'll see something called My Day. Now, My Day has a list of things that pops up with a list of things that you have to-dos. All right, so for instance, I added these two right here are two things that I need to work on and complete by the end of the week. That's a flagged email, and we'll get to flagged emails in just a second. So this is, if it's a flagged email, and I can also click more and it'll show me all of them, all of my suggested. It's just, these are suggestions of to-dos that were flagged recently, or I've put a due date on them, okay? So My Day shows up differently in the browser version, which we cover when we do training. I'm not gonna go back and forth because I think it confuses me. So I know it confuses a lot of other people. So here's your flagged email. And you guys, if you're going along with me, stay right there, but I want to show you what that looks like here. So see these little flagged emails? When you flag an email, you get a red flag, and then the text of that email turns red, and it's kind of highlighted in yellow a little bit. You can also sort your emails by the flag. There may or may not be a flag up here. If not, you can always add it. But I'm going to go ahead and click the flag. All my flagged emails are at the top, okay? Now, when I complete one, I'm saving this because I know I want to reply to Sean. Sean, I know you're out there somewhere. I'm getting back to you, I promise. I don't really need this. This is, no, this isn't. Thank you for registering, team at Adobe. Once I remove that flag, it will go away in my day, all right? So it's called the team at Adobe. So if I go back over to this list, and I go for my flagged emails, it's somewhere down here. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. I don't think it's really user friendly. I've been playing with it a lot, and I am more visual, so having my emails that are important to me, I relate to as tasks, I flag them. That's what I do. But you can also come in here and let's just say, these are your flagged emails. I don't have anything assigned to me. These are planned to-dos or tasks. Now, if you jump over, this is why it's confusing. If you jump over to the my task list, you'll see all of these emails. A flagged email will turn into a task. So these are all of these emails that I was just telling you about. If I unhighlight this right here, I want to find one that I don't need. Now I can't find it. How about this one? If I uncheck that flag, it will disappear. You can create task, the task feature, the little, looks like a clipboard. You can create them here. You can create a new task. All right, it just popped out over here. Sorry, I've got to move it over. Hope you guys can see it. So this is just, I'm going to say new task. And I probably have a million of these because I've been developing. New task, training. All right, start day, today, and then end day, 20th. I can mark it high importance. I can follow up tomorrow, follow up, start by Wednesday, the 19th, due by, I must make my due date by the 20th. There we go, that's better. And then I can save and close it. And it shows up down here at the bottom. Now it's also going to show up over on the blue check mark, which is your to-do list. New task training. Whoops, sorry, I meant to hit that. There it is, new task training. So I found it cumbersome because I want to click on this and see everything. If I click my flagged emails, I want to see the flags. And you don't see them in the to-do environment. You only see them in the task environment. But if you go over here and you create a new task, like I'm going to do a new task, add a task. Thank you notes. I owe people thank you notes. So I'm going to go ahead and there it is. That's just a task. There's no date. I haven't specified a date to it. It's just something on a list. You can come in here and sort these, and it didn't show up here for some reason. There it is. Isn't that odd? And it gives it a flag. So you can tell it was created over there. You can sort these by subject. No, sorry, my bad. I don't have a subject. You can sort them by date. These are due tomorrow. These are due today. These have no date. You can also sort them by categories. You can see here on this new task demo, I applied a category. So let's say I did that with new task training. I go into edit. I wanted to have a category. Let's just say it's about production. And then I save and close it. So when I see production, I know that this is a production task. This is an important task. It might be an HR thing. It might be something with administration, a Julie meeting. I don't know, something I got to prepare. But again, this is rather odd. They don't have the task list on the web version. They only have the check mark. Now, it integrates, so you can go in and still see all of these things once you click on the check mark, which is called My Day. They kind of refer to it as My Day. Okay, I know that was clear as mud. I'm sorry, I think it's confusing. I don't know why they just don't get rid of it, but they haven't. So let me ask you this. If you type in, I think I can see it actually. Let me pop out the questions. Type in what you think would be easier to use. The task, adding task here, which you can get your flagged email and task come in the same place. Or, I'm sorry, to do, this is to do, the check is to do, this is task. Which do you find, or would you find, you think easier to use? Just type it in. I'd like to see your responses. To-do list. Thank you, Joyce. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. I feel the same way. It's easier for me to do it over here. But they'll probably phase this out at some point. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up because it is Microsoft. I don't feel like I have as much control over here. However, if I click on this, I can click on it and I can see the actual like training communications meeting right here. I can see the actual email. I don't see the flag, but I see the email. And it's kind of watered down, so you don't really see the whole. See, it says open in Outlook. This check mark is for to do is actually a third party that they've integrated into Microsoft. So if you wanted, you could open this email in Outlook and see the whole email. So you do have your emails in that environment. They just don't look the same as the flags. Okay. Are there any questions? We're open for questions. Let me just show you this real quick, and then we can go to some more questions. I want to make sure that you know about their summer Sizzlin Outlook calendars, August 15th from 10 to 11. Like it's a Tuesday, and then Wednesday the 16th from 1 to 2. And we'll be talking about the calendars, more of categories, scheduling, things you can do with your calendar, sharing calendars. You don't always have to share to see someone's calendar. So there's a lot of little tips and tricks in calendars that you may or may not know about that are helpful. Categorizing is one of the big things. Also, if you need any assistance, I say this in the face-to-face trainings, if you ever need me, let's just say you want to create some quick steps and you're like, hey, can we meet for like 30 minutes? I can do Teams training with you. I can do a Teams meeting with you. Not training, sorry. I could do a Teams meeting and we could go over that. We could share screens back and forth and I can assist you with that because I know that some of this is rather fast. So I'm always available for one-on-one appointments virtually, mostly virtually, if we happen to be in Hanover. Jody Beagle, I don't know if you're out there, then we can do that as well. All right, and here's my contact information, which I think you guys have from the email I sent yesterday. And I will be following up with a couple of surveys I would appreciate. The one is the questionnaire that we need for DJJ. And the second one will be a survey on this particular webinar just to get your feedback. And that is anonymous. The question panel is not anonymous. So, all right. So let me go to any questions that you guys, whoops, wrong way. Any questions you guys may have. Any comments, questions, comments? And you know where the handout is, so just click on that and download that if you'd like it. Other than that, we finish with 10 minutes to spare. See any questions?
No question.
Nope. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you and what you do. I'll hang back if I see anybody pop up.